The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everybody, and thank you for joining this webinar for our call center and Akixi call reporting features. My name's Chris and I'm part of the product team here at InClarity. Today what we're going to be showing you is a brief overview of what the call center and Akixi features are and how they can work together. So what is a call center? A call center is an advanced telephony distribution group that offers more features than your standard hunt group. The main benefit in deploying a call center is that all of the member agents are able to sign in and advertise their availability status to the group. This can be the available, unavailable, or busy status. Sorry. My apologies, my screen's gone a bit funny there. In instances where all agents are busy, either on calls or set in an unavailable status, calls will be enter into a queue and will be able to be presented to the next agent that becomes available. It can also be set up so that callers are presented with entrance music, and callers who are held in the queue can be played announcements and comfort messages. This adds a personalized touch to a caller's experience rather than just your everyday ringing tone. What we're going to see is we're going to just see a few example settings that we can set on the call center on the portal side, and then we'll go through and we'll show you the client available with the call center and just a brief example of how that works. So on one of your main settings is your call delivery page, and this here you can set your distribution method. Your distribution method offers you certain styles. You can have circular and start with the next eligible agent in the sequence. You can have regular, which will start with the same agent for each inbound call into the call center. You can have simultaneous, which rings all agents at the same time, or you can have uniform, which will ring the agent that has been idle the longest. The call center, as I mentioned, has a call queuing facility, and through here you can set the length of your queue, starting anywhere from 1 call all the way up to allowing 50 calls within the queue length. You can set bounce options, which allow you to define what happens to a call if the current agent does not answer. Your overflow settings can be set, so if a specified wait time is exceeded, more calls are received than the supported queue length, or all agents are signed out or offline. This will follow specific actions that you request. And in rare circumstances where the call has nowhere else to go, you can set yourself up a stranded call action as well. You can choose which of your users on a site can be entered into and selected as a call center agent, moving users from the left-hand column into the right-hand column using the arrows on screen here. Please be mindful that every operator added to a call center group incurs its own billing charge, so please be selective when choosing your agents. Once your agents have been added to your call center and have been made available as agents, at the bottom here you can set an agent status. You can sign them in if they're not currently signed in. You can make them available, unavailable, or wrap up. For a small additional monthly charge, you can also enable the call center client. This is enabled by ticking this box here you'll see on screen. And we'll go a bit further into the client in just a moment. The call center groups allow you to set your open periods. These can be aligned to a customer's office operating hours and can have their own divert settings. So if a call comes in outside of your specified hours, you can choose to send this to a voicemail, or you can redirect this to an alternative number. As we've mentioned, announcements can be enabled under the Announcements tab here. With entrance music, you can add your own audio file that plays to your caller before ringing through to any available operators. You can set estimated wait times. These can advise your caller of any potential queue positions they're in, or an estimated length of time they could be waiting before they speak to an agent. You can play music. If a customer has entered into a queue, you can set your music here. This can be any one of our preset files. Alternatively, you can upload your own audio file here as well. You can also choose to enable a comfort message. This can be played to customers waiting in the queue. You can set this to any sort of time periods as you like. For example, you can play the message every 10 seconds, 15 seconds, etc. And if you choose your own upload file, this can be playing something like a promotion or any company messages your customer would like to relay. So what we'll do now is we'll quickly have a look at the call center client in action. So to launch the call center client, the agent themselves has to log in to their phone manager. If the use client option has been ticked against their name on the agent screen, you'll notice that on the right hand side, you'll see a hyperlink to the call center agent client. We'll click on this. This will automatically log your agents in to the client. And upon here, you'll notice that we have a section here for call console. In this call console, this will show up any inbound calls that are coming into the call center itself. You will have the facility to be able to dial calls that initiate ringbacks on your handset, on your agent's handset, to make outgoing calls. You'll also have a list of your call history, showing your missed call history, received calls, as well as your placed calls. When a call comes into the client, you'll notice that the call comes in and you'll have the option to end the call, or we can also answer that call on our handset, and this call will stay here, and upon answering we'll give you options to transfer the call, place the call on hold. If multiple calls come into your queue, into your call center group, these will also appear within that setting as well. When two calls come into the group at the same time, an agent has the option to jump between the calls, placing one call on hold while answering the other. You'll see here we have a list of contacts. These contacts are available to all of your agents when they log into the client. Your directory here will be your InClarity Enterprise contacts. These are other users who are using the InClarity phone system. Clicking on one of these contacts, you'll have the ability to call that person, call their extension number, and if there is an email associated to that subscriber, initiate an email to that user. If a call comes in and we have one of our users here, you are able to drag this across to that contact and divert the call. Pressing the transfer there, the call will be transferred through to the other agent. Personal contacts that have been added to the agent's phone manager. So we see here, we jump back here in the contacts list, their private contacts. These will be displayed here as well for the user to be able to initiate calls. The dashboard here, hitting the settings menu, we can select the queues that we're a part of. And through here, we will get statistics on the call center we're part of at the moment. So at the moment, there are no calls in my queue. Estimated wait time is 0, as a user should get straight through to an agent, with brief statistics on the longest waiting call and how many members are part of that group. What we'll do now is we will just go through the Akixi portion of our webinar. So what is Akixi call reporting? Akixi is a powerful tool that provides bespoke reports on your calls and user activity, which can be scheduled to run periodically or which can be displayed in real-time pictorial form. You can schedule your reports, and these reports can be sent on a one-off occasion, hourly, weekly, or monthly. It reports against real-time data or historical data. Real-time wallboard data can be viewed by supervisor users through a dedicated wallboard app, and Akixi even integrate with our call recording solution Dubber to play back call recordings through the portal itself. What I will be showing you is a few reports that can be used alongside the call center. What I have also done for you as well is I have added the Akixi call reporting guide, as well as our call center user guide as a handout within this webinar. This can give you can use this for future references for any reports and other examples of reports that can be created. So what we'll do is we'll just log on to the Akixi wallboard now. What I've done already is I've just created a few reports to show you and get you some ideas of what you can see on your lists. So what we have on display here is a real-time wallboard report. This specific wallboard is usually quite handy within office-based environments with call center teams, customer service teams, etc. This gives you dynamic view of what is currently happening within your call center as it comes in. So a few examples of this is we have our how many calls are waiting at the moment. You'll see that this tile is flashing. How many calls are currently being answered and taken by agents as we're talking about it. It's average wait time and longest wait times in the queue. Gives you feedback on service levels as well. How many abandoned calls? Do you have certain parameters such as your customers' calls need to be answered by an agent within 15 seconds? And can give you total amounts of inbound calls and how many are answered, etc. All of these tiles can be amended and adjusted through the modify button up here at the top. going to our field section here, you can adjust what fields are displayed on your wallboard around you. You can set up how they are viewed, so I can change the color format of each tile, and I can also set alarms. So right now you can see that this waiting now has got a static alarm set that any calls waiting higher than the value of 0 will alert on the wallboard. This can be changed, so if you will allow your agents to have maybe 5 calls waiting, depending on your volume of calls, this will only trigger when that value is met. You can also view your agent in real time and see what's happening, where and when they're doing it at the time. What I've done is I've just pulled up some ACD agents internally in our office, and as you can see at the moment, all of them are free. Green tells us that the agents are available. These can also change to dark green if there is an incoming call. If an agent is busy and on a call, this will change to a red. And if an agent goes into unavailable, or they've set themselves to an unavailable status, this will change to blue. As a supervisor with the Akixi wallboard, you have level of control over agents' statuses. So if you feel that you see here that Mr. CS Agent Spare has decided to go on lunch but hasn't set himself as unavailable, we can click on this agent here and we can set them to not available. We can set them to a wrap up state. We can even sign them out of the call center itself. Through this agent list, you're also able to manipulate a call. If a call is ringing as a supervisor, this can be answered by yourself or sent directly to your handset to be answered, or this can be directed to an alternative number. As an example of this, if I dial one of my colleagues now, you'll see here that my colleague here is now ringing as it's gone dark green. I can now pick up this call myself, and this will go to my handset. I can also send this to another agent. Clicking on this, I can then set their extension, and this will then call that person there. So this has gone through to my agent just here. Now I've ended that call, you'll notice that my agent has gone back to an available state. So again, if I've now moved my agent here onto an unavailable state, on our wallboard, this would reflect that there are only a certain number of available agents to be able to take calls from any inbound callers. We can then go back in and set them back to available when they've come back from their lunch. The wallboard here will also tell you how many active calls, how many calls have been answered for those agents throughout the day, and give you a level of statistics. These statistics and the fields that are represented here, again, can be changed through the modify report section. We go to our fields, and all of these options can then be edited as we need to. Fields can be removed, or you could start afresh and remove all of your fields. You can also move the position of the field, whereas how it would appear on your report. If you wanted to just have what we would call a busy lamp field view of your agents without having the need for statistics displaying on screen, we can edit such a report to view just the agents themselves. This can be done through the Modify Report button, and on the first general page that you'll have in front of you, once it loads, we can change this displayed as from a detailed table view to a BLF view, either horizontal or vertical. Changing it to a horizontal or vertical BLF view will give you a report that looks like this. This is just your agents' names and then their statuses. Hovering over a particular agent will give you their call statistics for the day, just like you would on the agent list. In the same way that the agent list we saw prior, you can set the status and availability of your agents, and you can also manipulate the calls as calls come into them as well. In a recent update to the Akixi, Akixi themselves have released a mobile app where supervisor users are able to view their wallboards through the application themselves. As you'll see here, this is a screenshot of my mobile of logging in as a supervisor, and it gives me the same statistics as I got on my wallboard. This can be changed to show by using the three dots at the top here. You can show these tiles as a list to make it easier for reading. All of the reports through the app are a view only in this instance, and if you wanted to make configuration changes to your reports, this is all done via the web portal. The Akixi app itself has also had another update recently, which now displays for Akixi 2000 supervisor users your ACD agent lists. So similar to the list we saw previously on the Akixi web portal, you will have your ACD agent list. Your ACD agents will be displayed on screen, showing the first three statistics represented on the report you create through the portal, and will also have the same color instances for available, wrap up, available, and busy on a call. You'll see here, for example, we'll take Tim Radcliffe. He's got statistics viewing of active calls, advanced calls, and inbound answered calls, and these are the same values that you'll see on the report. Clicking on that particular agent itself will then bring up further call statistics. If we go into our settings page on the three dots in the top right hand corner, you can change this just to a purely BFL mode only and just show the agents as you need them. In a similar vein to the web portal, you have some level of control over your agents. Through the app itself, you have the ability to change your agent statuses. Again, coming back to a matter of, let's say, for example, Mr. Jackson here has gone out to lunch. He's rightly logged himself out of the wallboard. He's come back into lunch and he's sitting on his desk, at his desk, and he hasn't quite signed himself back in. As through the app, again, if we click on the telephone with the three dots next to it here, this allows us to then go in and we can set the availability of that agent, whether they're available, wrap up, and we can even sign them in. So this is what I've prepared for you today, and I hope you found it useful. I will take any questions you might have, but please remember, if you do have any further questions outside of the webinar, please do contact us. We can be reached at presales@inclarity.co.uk, or you can call us on 0207 952 1800. That's 0207 952 1800. So I'll just leave the webinar open for a few moments now to take any questions anyone might have. Okay, so I've just had one question. Is the mobile app at an additional charge, or is this included with the Akixi service? So the Akixi application for the mobiles itself is free of charge, and the ability to view your wallboards is again free of charge. If you wanted to have access to the ACD agents list, there is a small monthly charge involved with this, and this will be on the next price list circulated to all of our partners. I've had one request to send the handouts through the email. Yes, I can certainly do that. That's not a problem. I will get the attendees list to this webinar, and I will resend those invites to all of you, just in case anyone else is having problems. I have no, I've just been asked, do I know when the next price list is being released? I do know that myself and my colleague will be working on this, and it should be released at the back end of this month or early next month. Uh, Seem to have one more question. Are these handouts available on a portal or website? These should be available through our help center, our help desk. I will provide a link to our help desk in the email I send around to all attendees, and I will double check to make sure that they're available on our partner portal as well. Okay, again, that concludes the webinar. Again, I hope you all found it helpful. I will circulate that email with the handouts out shortly. And again, if you do have any further questions, please contact us, presales@inclarity.co.uk or 0207 952 1800.